Are you ready for the latest wonder drug? We've heard of Ozempic. Some of the medical professionals in the carnivore space have talked about Ozempic in videos, and to my knowledge, none of them were exactly thrilled with the idea, especially since there are pretty nasty side effects known from taking Ozempic, to the point where there are actually lawsuits against the manufacturer of Ozempic and another drug very similar to it, because it comes with the small price of stomach paralysis, whatever that is, and with the onset of self-destructive thoughts. But I have to ask, there's a new one here. Are you interested in taking a wonder drug to help you lose body fat? The name of the new one is CPACC. I'm assuming it's CPAC. Double C. I have no idea how to say the name. It sounds like a political action thing to me. But it's a new drug currently undergoing tests, hasn't even had human trials yet, but it's making major waves in the news, which probably means it's going to be approved for human use very soon. The way this one works is it blocks the body's ability to really absorb much in the way of sugar and fat. There's some problems with that, of course, but we as human beings love miracle cures. And this is no different in this case. I guarantee you this stuff is going to fly off the shelves. After all, who doesn't want to be able to sit there and eat ice cream and have no Randall cycle activation? Who doesn't want to sit there and be able to eat Taco Bell or Burger King or pizza, whatever it was that your personal food vice was before you came to your senses and tried a carnivore or ketogenic diet? Who doesn't want to be able to eat all that stuff without seeming consequences? And I say without seeming consequences because the reporting on this hasn't shown what the side effects are because human trials haven't started yet. But Ozempic and its main competitor brand that does the same thing basically knew about their side effects, including the tendency to start having thoughts about removing yourself from the equation, so to speak. And that didn't seem to bother anybody at all, including federal regulators, which is, of course, not surprising in the slightest. So would you take this drug? I want to know in the comments. Would you take this stuff? There's not a lot of details out there about it. Blocks your body's ability to absorb both sugar and fat. I want to warn you about something. This is going to turn you into essentially a carb machine or a protein machine. After all, if your body can't absorb sugar, what's going to happen? And if your body can't absorb fat, what's going to happen? You're left with protein. That sounds like that long term, this is going to be a dangerous thing to take. Now, granted, in theory, you shouldn't have to take a weight loss prescription for very long. You use it as long as you need to, and then you are done. But you're not having the ability to absorb really sugar or fat sounds extraordinarily dangerous to me. Have any of you ever gone on what's called a protein-sparing modified fast before? If you have, you know that stuff gets very taxing on the body almost immediately. For those who don't know what that is, a protein-sparing modified fast is where you dial the carbs and the fat down almost to zero, as low and close to zero as you can, for an extended period of time. I have tried it, and the longest I made was 3 days before I felt gravely ill. I did not feel good at all. Oh, I lost a lot of weight. I tried to get through the final stall on a ketogenic diet once with that, and all I ended up doing was destroying my diet, because when I came off of it, I went off the deep end. I was out of my mind with hunger. And maybe these days with, practicing intermittent fasting, quote unquote intermittent fasting, meaning time restricted eating, let's be a more honest name for it, I'd have an easier time. But this stuff probably will make you feel awful no matter what it is you're eating. The hyperpalatability, the dopamine hits you get from eating with seeming abandon, whatever it was you were eating before, probably won't make up for it. We don't know, the limitations of this stuff. We don't know what it is they're doing. We don't really know even what it's done to the mice. They've been testing this stuff on mice in the laboratory setting, and they've released no details about that other than that mice are reacting well to it. Seemingly that means that the stuff is not so dangerous that all their mice are dropping from taking it. We shall see, of course. But it's called CPACC. The New York Post is reporting on this. Several other news outlets are reporting on this. This all broke in the last couple of days. So I'm curious, will you take something that may come with a whole host of really weird side effects? I mean, after all, We all laugh a little bit. You probably do too. I know I do when I see a commercial for some sort of new wonder drug that says that will allegedly cure, help treat some heinous thing that you're supposed to ask your doctor about. And then at the end of the commercial says, side effects may include a whole list of horrifying things, including sometimes the end of your life. You gonna take that? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to. And here's the problem with these kind of wonder drugs. And I know, and I speak to you at this because as a guy who, obviously, when you look at my face, you can tell that I'm carrying excessive body fat, okay? I, like most of you who are here watching this, who have tried to lose weight, meaning body fat, you've done it successfully many times. But then something happens and the weight comes back. Once the person starts taking this pill, presumably, although they have other versions too, not just a pill, including some that'll be very familiar to you, hearkening you back to a couple years ago. Anybody who's done this, though, if you're honest with yourselves, the best thing about going on a restrictive diet is the discipline that comes with it. The repairing of the broken relationship between yourself and food. Because ultimately, unless you've got like a diagnosed thyroid problem, like a real thyroid issue of some kind, to the point where they have you on medication for that, unless you have something like that going on, we all know, at least to a degree, it's a discipline issue. That we are the ones who make the choice to hit the drive-thru, or to order the pizza, or whatever it is, to get our phones out and hit DoorDash, and then order these extremely high-calorie, high-fat, high-sugar, hyper-palatable foods. That's on us. We are the ones who did that. No wonder drugs going to cure that of you folks. Whatever spiritual stuff you've got going on, whatever headspace stuff you've got going on, and just knuckling down and forcing yourself to tighten up your habits. Those are the only things that's going to fix that. And they're never going to make something they can sell you in a bottle for that. At least I hope they don't try to. So I'm curious, though. Ask you again, will you try CPACC? CPAC. Some people are calling it. Will you take it? Let me know in the comments. What considerations do you have about this? Whether you're openly hostile to it like I am, or you're open-minded to it, what information do you want about this? Because there's sparingly little out there. Not much at all. Let me know what information you want about this before you would decide to take it. And if you haven't, like and subscribe. It does help, so does sharing this on social media. That helps too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Don't fall for fad solutions and quick solutions to your weight problems, folks. Please. Thanks for your time today.